Well, good afternoon and welcome once again to Ed's Orchids. Now, if you remember on my last video, I asked the viewers if I could do anything, that I hadn't already done. And one of them said, can you show us the bits and pieces that you use in your greenhouse? So to start with, that's what I'll do. Well, to start with, I get my water from out of the house, and I've channeled under the garden with a pipe, and it brings the water in here. So the water comes out here at 1 bar, I think they call it, goes into the unit, and then it goes through a sediment which removes any sediment there may be in the tap water. Then it goes through a carbon block which takes some more stuff out. Then it goes through the top, which is a sort of a filter that only allows water molecules to go through, and then it goes through the resins to give you the RO water. And the RO water comes out, goes into this tub under here, and when I want some water, I'll just turn the tap on and I get as much RO water excuse me, I get as much RO water as I need. And I'll show you that in a bit when I turn it on. Now, another thing I use is this Ram ultrasonic humidifier. It's very easy to use, does a lot of good in the greenhouse by supplying a lot of humid air. It's got an adjustable output knob. It holds 5 litres of water. It's good for small and medium-sized grow spaces, and it uses only 30 watts of electricity. Now, if you plug this in the morning and the tank is full, it'll last all day. And that's at full power. And at full power it'll put out 40 millilitres of vapour per hour. Now I'll show you how we use it. We'll just remove this nozzle. There'll be some water in to start with, but I'll fill it up again. And just lift the top off. Like so. You turn it over and put it on the table here. You have to just loosen this or take it off, and this is where you fill the water. After I've done that, I place it where the water's going to come from. Press the switch. And fill it up to the top. And the only thing we have to do now is just put this top back on, and don't do it too tight or else you'll have trouble getting it off after. Just a nice little touch, and that's all you need. So there we've got the complete unit, so the only thing we have to do is pick this up and put it back on top. Quite easy. It's plugged it in, so what we'll have to do is just put this top back on, which is movable, and use the switch and switch on. And when you switch on, you can see it coming out. I'll turn it up at full. And there you are, that's where it's all coming out. But you can turn it down with that button there, so you can have as much going as you want. What I do, I just leave it on all day, because it's a it's a 14 by 8 greenhouse, so in fact if you don't have a fan going and you just leave it on like this and you shut your doors, in 2 or 3 hours you can come in here and it's like walking through a mist. So it really does a good job. And the price of them I can give you, I've seen them now on Amazon, complete, exactly the same as this, for about 32 quid. so they're not an expensive thing to have. So that's the humidifier. Now I heat the greenhouse with this hot box. The name's just peeling off now because I've been using it for a couple of years now, and the only adjustment on is there. And I set that to 12 degrees, about 12.5 degrees centigrade, and I just leave it on like that all the time. And then I let the greenhouse warm up to as much as you want. The other switches, of course, are the on-off switch, and you can have the fan on if you want, or the fan and the heat together. So that's the hot box. We've got a pedestal fan, of course, which everybody has in a greenhouse. So no need to go into details about that one. But the thing every greenhouse should have is a kettle. And I've got plenty of lights under the benches, but I haven't used them, but because I haven't used the greenhouse in winter. And there's the Mars Hydro light that I haven't used since putting it in here. Plenty of lights on every bench and under every bench. Oh, and I've got one of these little sensors in the greenhouse, the thermal hygro sensor, it says. And I think it's Oregon Scientific. And I'll leave that in the greenhouse. It just tells me what the humidity is and the temperature in the greenhouse, because I keep this in the house and it tells me what it is in the greenhouse. Oh, I've switched it off. Hang on. Let's press the right button. There we are. So that's what it is in the greenhouse. 24.6, 74% humidity, and that's what it is in the house. 40% humidity, 41, and nearly 28 degrees in the house. So that's what I use, and it works very, very well. I mean, I'll put the humidifier on, and that'll shoot up. And what I'll do, I'll put the humidifier on, I'll come in, and we'll just have a look what the greenhouse is like when that humidifier is on. Right, and as you can see, I've had this on with the closed greenhouse. I've had it on for about 3 hours, and I can hardly see myself in here, so it does work. Now I've just got one Phragmipedium to have a look at, and that's the Cardinale, and it's looking a little bit sorry for itself, so we'll have a look at that and see what's happening. And this little Cakey delicatum, the flowers have now opened. If I can get around the back of the petals, you can see they're a beautiful pink. I hope you can see that. And a beautiful white flower. Absolutely lovely. And the perfume of them, even though there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 flowers on, you can smell it as soon as you walk in. They're absolutely gorgeous little things. Right, now we'll just have a look at this Cardinale that's looking a bit sorry for itself. I know the medium's fine, but let's have a good look at it, see what's going on. It tried to flower from here before, but I took them inside, if you remember, and the blood blasted. So that's another reason that's taught me not to do. I've just watered all my 37 Phragmipediums this morning, so this is quite wet through, and the roots are a lot better than I thought. Although there are 1 or 2 soft ones which I'll get rid of. Now I'm not into wearing rubber gloves or sterilising things before I use them, because I never buy plants. Well, I do sometimes, but not to the extent that I need all these newfangled things of hydrogen peroxide and all this sort of stuff, which I don't think you need really. Cut that off right up to the top. That's that. Any more? Any more for any more? Yep, one here. Cut that right at the top. And the plant will feel much better when it gets rid of all this rubbish. I'll feel much better as well. Well, it's a deep pot, and the roots are reaching the bottom, so I think I'll just give them all a trim. They're good roots though, these, but they'll be alright. So I'll just trim it. Just trim the roots off. That's fine. So we'll get rid of the roots. The medium's okay. So we'll just pot it up again. Nice and wet because I've just watered them this morning. A little bit sorry for the growths on the back of this one, but it's got a little new growth there at the front, and I can't see anything else, but keep this weather up for another month, it'll be fine. But I believe, although it's about 16, 17 degrees today, it's going to drop to about 6 this weekend. So we're back to using the electric on the heater. Then I look at all these videos that you have in Florida. Oh, and I look at the weather and I think, oh, to be there and growing orchids where you can stick them on trees, and yeah, wonderful. But I suppose beggars can't be choosers, and we've got to be thankful for what we've got, which I am. And there we are. And we can't be jealous of other people in other countries. Back again, I'll put it's sinking down a bit with removing some of it. So we'll just put a bit of fresh bark on there and put the label back in. So that's all for today, so thank you very much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you all later. Everybody keep safe. Bye.